This week on the DARIN Show, it's Inxs, Listen Like Thieves, arguably not even arguably, my favorite Inxs album. First Inxs album I actually ever heard. First Inxs song I heard was probably I Need Every Minute With You, No One Else Can Do What You Do, from the Pretty in Pink soundtrack, I believe it was. One of those Molly Ringwald 16 Candles or Pretty in Pink, probably Pretty in Pink. But this, I remember this was one of the first DVDs, when DVDs were first coming out. Okay, so this album is in 1985. I was working at a blueprint company as a delivery person and coming in, and there was a person that dispatched us out, and then you'd come in and you chit chat or whatever like that. And he and I would talk about music all the time. He had a little bit more money than me because I was just starting out, a young kid delivery driving, and he was the dispatcher. So he got a CD player before a lot of people got a CD player. I remember it was like, oh, a CD player. And he was always telling me about all these great CDs and how great everything sounded on CD. And so I actually eventually got a Technics stereo system. I mean, this was like this giant. It had like the turntable and the tuner where you pick up stuff like your radio, and then a dual cassette player and a CD player. When I finally did get a CD player, I remember coming in, I was all excited, and I told this guy Mike, I'm like, oh, I got a CD player. Didn't have any CDs yet, but I had that Technics stereo console thing, and he says, I'm gonna bring you something in. So this was the first CD that I ever got that was burned for me. Now this one is not. This is, the real deal. This is that because, of course, I purchased this myself eventually. But Inxs, Listen Like Thieves, he brought me in a burned copy of it. And I mean, from the beginning, it was just so clean. Everything was amazing. This is how this album begins. What You Need. And I had never heard anything on CD up to that point. This was just so clean. And to me, I love this. It went from one song to the next, just bam, 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 rock and roll, pop, very, very catchy. Second track comes in, Listen Like Thieves. I was blown away. Track 3, Kiss the Dirt. One thing about rock and roll, or just music in general, sometimes the quiet parts are good. You need the quiet so that you get the sound. I'm not making any sense. But I just remember this was so clean and crisp, and I love the way that it's bah, bah, bah. Track 4, Shine Like It Does. They don't knock you over the head with anything. You got the acoustic sound, guitar in there, little keyboard. It just sounded so beautiful to me. Track 5, Good and Bad Times. I grew up listening to albums where you listen to one side all the way through, flip it over, listen to the next side, or cassette tapes, same kind of thing. So this was actually the first time that I got an album and listened all the way through. You don't need to flip it over when it's a CD. And I was just blown away. I thought, this just keeps getting better and better. Biting Bullets, track 6. Everything sounded great. That ear candy sound. And I thought they did a really great job of going back and forth between like an upbeat pop song, danceable stuff, and then they would slow it down a little bit and give you a little love song this time. I like the way the songs would just build up. You have the really clean guitar sound, the crisp drums, and catchy stuff. And if you've been around me at all, if you listen to anything, any of my reviews, I'm a sucker for catchy pop songs. I love every genre of music, and I can usually find something good in just about everything, but man, I love a catchy tune. This album inspired me, actually. You'll find on my channel a songwriting journey where I'm doing chapters starting with songs I was writing when I was in 5th grade, and in there, somewhere along in the songwriting journey, probably like chapter 7, 8, something like that, I wrote a whole album. I still remember it was called Friendly Warriors. And that was inspired by Inxs, the Listen Like Thieves album. I listened to this CD just over and over, and I just kind of had all these thoughts and melodies and lyrics that were coming out of me, and I wanted to have the same feel as this album. And again, to me, it was just one song after another. 11 songs, straight through, track 1 to 11. I couldn't put it down. We wind down, track 11, Red, Red Sun, and, you know, just flipped it back over. That was another cool thing about the CD. Yeah, you didn't have to get up and flip it over. Now, if you listen to a cassette tape, it would play, and then sometimes it would, you know, play backwards if you had one of those kind of cool cassette players. A lot of times you did have to flip it over. But a CD, you put it in and you push repeat on the CD player, and this thing just keeps going and going and going. And so I probably listened to this like a million times. And still to this day I have it. I purchased this probably sometime in the late 80s. And here we are, you know, 40 years later, and I still love the Inxs Listen Like Thieves. And I still sometimes get this out and just put it on and play it while I'm cleaning the house or doing whatever. It's a great road trip CD for me. I give this one a 5 out of 5. This is Inxs Listen Like Thieves. Highly recommend it. One of my favorites of all time. Probably my top 10 CDs, top 10 albums of all time. That's it for the Darren Show. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Get out there and give this a listen if you would.